loves, welcome back or welcome to a brand new video. So this is our first reading vlog of November. This will probably be my last one. If you guys saw on my community page on YouTube, I am currently planning and filming for Bookmas already, so I thought I would come up with this little vlog idea so I at least have some type of reading vlog for the month of November. This is one of my favourite things that I've seen people do, and as you guys can tell from the title of this video, we will be using Pinterest to pick my reads, and I'm actually nearly reaching my goal. I think I'm on like 92 books out of 100, so currently we're in November, so I have plenty of time. I think I'm gonna reach it by the end of this year, which I'm really happy about. But we do have a huge physical TBR that I want to tackle, and I'm always struggling to find ideas of what I want to read, and I've been seeing people use Pinterest to pick their reads, and for me that's perfect. I'm a Pinterest girly. If you watch my vlogs, even my reading vlogs, I am always using Pinterest. Pinterest is my love of my life. I use Pinterest for all things fashion, beauty, books, house content, loads of different things. So I thought I would use Pinterest to help me pick my reads. So I'm going to pick out 3 books from Pinterest. So what I'm going to do, what I've seen people do, is obviously on my For You page for Pinterest, I'm just going to scroll, and then whatever books show up first is the books I'm going to read. But I'm only going to be picking books that are on my physical TBR already, and I kind of know what's on my TBR, so when I look on there then I'll see, because I don't want to buy any new books, and obviously I see people where they do it and then it might go on a book that they have to buy. I don't want to do that. I want to use the books that I already have to help me tackle my physical TBR, and I'm not going to include ads. If it's from like a stack, I'll just pick a book from the stack that I have on my physical TBR, and we're going to go from there. We're going to pick 3 books that I'm going to be reading in today's video. So we're going to go onto Pinterest, and let me just start the screen recording. So when we go onto Pinterest, this is the board. This is what they look like. So as you guys can see at the top, it has loads of different mood boards, and look what had popped up. No other than my Christmas mood board, which is so interesting because I'm actually currently filming this on the 1st of November. And when do you guys start preparing for Christmas? Because I love Christmas. I'm usually one that starts probably mid-November towards the end of November, but this year I've decided that I'm going to really start at the start of November, which is very different for me, and I'm really excited for it. Halloween was literally just yesterday, but I am in the Christmas mood definitely, so I am just so excited for it. Don't know why, but this year I'm just extra excited for it. But this is what my For You page looks like. We're gonna just start scrolling down. Okay, so as we see, we just saw one, which was this one, but obviously I've read ACOTAR already, and then it has another book, House of Beating Wings, if you like ACOTAR, but I don't have that book, so we're not going to be going on to there. But there's so many things that I want to pin right now, like, no, Amy, you're here to look at books. Let's excuse that. And then let's see what other books. Okay, this one, can I see what the book is on? Me trying to see what book it is. You can't even look at any of the writing. I understand it. Right, we're going to keep going. Okay, so we have The Boys of Totem that just popped up. I actually haven't read any of the books from The Boys of Totem. However, but I'm not sure if I want to read it yet, because the book is go through guys. Like, I'm literally looking at it right now, and let me quickly grab it. It is massive. Like, look at the size of this book, guys. I think you can get it on Kindle Unlimited, but let's see how many pages it is. It's like 800 pages. If we read this, then we're only going to read one other book, because that is too girthy for me to like read 3 books plus this. But we're going to put it down because it is a contender. And then let's scroll down. I think we're going to see which like 3 we can find now for the first book, and then maybe pick one out of the 3, like process of elimination. Okay, so we have this one, and this is a bookshelf. I think this is too extravagant to use. We have another one. Again, it's not my physical TBR. We're going to keep scrolling down. Be here for like ages, because me trying to find book ideas. We have quite a few photos with books. So obviously, you have the Pumpkin Cafe, I've already read that, and then we have this bookcase, but I think that's a big stack. But then we have this stack right here, and the first book that I can see is Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and I haven't read Powerless yet, so that could be a massive contender. Let me quickly grab the book. This is the book by Lauren Roberts. I am super excited to start this series. It is definitely a book series I've been wanting to read, so this could be a very good contender of what we might read. This is a good contender. We're going to put it down and then we're going to look for one more book. One more book, yeah. One more book. We're going to scroll down. Right, I've just found this right here, and it's by no other than Steph. So this is Heartless Hunter, but I know in the UK it's called The Crimson Moth, which I do have on my physical TBR. So let me quickly grab that one. Here it is. This is the beautiful cover, going hardback. This is a little bit girthy, but not that girthy, I think. And I think you can read this on Kindle as well. I think because this popped up first and it caught my eye, we're going to go with Powerless. And I've been waiting to read this for so long. I think I've had it for about a year now, I would say. Whereas this, I bought this in my most recent bookstore vlog. So I aren't in any rush to read this yet. So I think we're going to go with Powerless as our first read. I know this is supposed to be like an enemies to lovers, Hunger Games feels, but a bit mystical. So I'm all for that. And there's 3 books in the series so far. I know the 4th one's coming out next year, and obviously I haven't even read the first book, so I feel like this is way overdue. So book number 1 we're going to be reading today's video is going to be Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I'm super excited to read a fantasy because I'm in a fantasy mood anyways. So this is going to be the first book. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get to reading. Guys, so it is the next day and I thought I'd give you guys an update on Powerless. I haven't even given you guys an update since yesterday, but I am on chapter 20, page 170. I'm nearly halfway, I would say. I think the book is like 500 pages long, so I've got about 100 pages. No, less than 100 pages, about 80 pages until I'm halfway through the book. And I haven't wanted to put this book down, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday evening, I did not want to put the book down when I was reading it. I wanted to continue reading, but it was like 11:30. I was really tired and I just couldn't grasp on any type of humanity that was left. So I decided that I needed to just go to sleep, and then today we will start fresh and continue the series. So this book, guys, this book, I feel so good even now just thinking about it, but this book, I am loving it so much. The tension between the 2 characters, Kai and Pai, that's what I'm going to call her because I can't pronounce her whole name. Kai and Pai, like Pei, whatever the nickname is, it says in the book. Like these 2 together, the tension, I am obsessed. I don't know why, but if you've ever watched the Winx Club TV series, they're very much giving Bloom and Sky. is it just me that's getting those vibes from these two characters? And I can guess why people are calling this like Hunger Games, just because of like the trials kind of vibe to it. I've never ever actually read or watched the Hunger Games. I think I watched maybe the first movie when I was really young, but I didn't make my way through it because I was quite young, and some of the scenes I was a bit like, no, I'm devastated. But I can get what people are talking about, what they mean by that. But the vibes of this book is immaculate right now, and obviously we're at the bit where she has been discovered, and obviously she saves the prince, and we get to see like the more detail about that, because I knew that was the gist of the story, but I didn't know the extent of that and like how it actually happened. And let's just say this main character, she is a badass. The only thing that I'm struggling with is, guys, look how many words is on the page, like how tiny it is. But surprisingly, I am finding it easy to read. It's so easy to follow on. I feel like I've just flown through all the pages, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. I can't wait to see like the trials and that, because it actually hasn't started yet, but there's gonna be a ball. There's going to be a ball in this, and I'm really excited, and I can definitely see a triangle going on. A little triangle going on, and I'm just loving this book. I don't want to put it down when I'm reading it, and I can't lie, guys. I am feeling a 5 stars towards this book already. It's only a little hint right now, only a little tinge of a 5 star, but I haven't had a 5 star for about 3 months now, so I'm gasping on the idea of having one. But I'm going to take it slow, take it easy, but so far I do get the hype for this book. And damn, this book is flipping amazing. I'm obsessed, and the tension, as I said earlier, the tension between these characters. But that is my update for now. I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to sit and read for a bit, and then I'll probably speak to you guys this evening to give you guys a little bit more of an update. But so far, so good. Pinterest, you did well in picking me a book, because this is a book that's been on my TBR for ages. I'm finally getting into it. So yeah, that is it for now, guys. We're going to get to reading, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Guys, did he just say what I think he just said? He said, well, where is it? You can leave me to bleed out if you must, but I only want your hands all over me if you want them to be. He is dangerous, and even with that thought echoing in my mind, I hold his gaze and put my hands on him. Guys, update time. We are on chapter 28, page 248. Literally just touching on halfway through this book, and guys, it's only been an hour and 15 minutes left on my timer. But this book, guys, this book, I'm gonna keep squealing like a baby, but Kai and Pei, these two, oh my gosh, guys, we are finally in the trials, and let's just say these two, like, they're literally the epitome of, like, you're supposed to be enemies, but the attraction's there. Like, they're literally the definition of enemies to lovers, but it's more like a forced enemy. And I am obsessed with this book. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. I said I wasn't going to give you an update probably until this evening, but I just could not. I'm halfway through this book and I only started it yesterday, so I don't even know like how to begin. Like, if you guys saw me with my phone, I was noting down pages, but let me see if I can find it. Here, one of these. If I am to be her enemy, I want it to be because she loathes herself for wanting me. I am so wrong for her. She is too brave, too bold, too bloody good for me. Like, guys, this book is just filled with like quotes that are like ingraining into my brain. Anyways, that is my little update for now. I probably won't speak to you guys again until this evening, but I am absolutely obsessed with this book and I don't even know what else to say. Let's get back to it. I'll speak to you guys in a bit. So guys, I'm back. I don't know if the screen or the quality of this clip is grainy or not, just because it's starting to get darker now. It's 2 p.m, but my office space seems to get dark really early, especially since I've got my new blinds. I'm desperate to get a lamp in here so I can actually sit in here past a certain time and actually enjoy my library room. But I thought I'd give you guys an update. We have 100 pages left of Powerless and your girl is sad. We have 100 pages left and I don't want to say goodbye to these characters. Like, I think since I've given you guys my last update, so much has happened and we're learning a little bit more about the Resistance. It's something that you'll learn a little bit later on if you do read this book, or if you have read this book, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I just can feel a betrayal, some chaos happening, and I don't know if I'm ready for this yet because Kai and Pei, them two together are like chef's kiss. Kai, I'm obsessed with this man. I have a new book boyfriend and I missed a fantasy book boyfriend. There's nothing better than a fantasy book boyfriend. We have officially now reached the mark of 100 pages. We are on chapter 49, page 400, and there's 501 pages, so I've got about 100 pages left of this book and I'm sad. I don't want to say goodbye and I just feel like the next 100 pages now is just gonna hurt me so much, but we will read some more later this evening because I've got a lot of things to do right now because it's Sunday, which is my reset day, so I've got a few things I need to do. But absolutely obsessed with this. We're now also going to be picking our second read because obviously we're nearly about to finish this, so I'll see you guys in a bit. As we only have around 100 pages left of Powerless, I thought I'd go ahead, pick my second read so I can start it maybe this evening or even tomorrow. And I know because it's going to get darker now, now's the best time to do it. So we're going to pop onto Pinterest again. Let me just start my screen recording. We're going to scroll down. So we have like photos like this, but they're quite big stacks. This is a big stack as well. Okay, so we have our first small stack, but none of the books on here I have not read that I have a physical copy of, so we're going to skip that. There's Book Lovers, I've read that already by Emily Henry. We have the Once Upon a Time series, I have that. Again, I have a bookshelf, which is too many books. Okay, we have this one right here, which have loads of different books on there. I think that would give me more scope to pick, but I want something that's a little bit more specific. Okay, we have this one of Magnolia Parks that we could potentially do, and then let's keep scrolling down. I'm looking at these smaller stacks. So we have this one here. Pretty much everything that's on this list I have read except for like one book, but I don't have a physical copy of that. I've read The 7 Year Slip, but I haven't read yet The Dead Romantics, and it is on my TBR. So we could potentially read that. I'm keeping my mind on that. The only reason I haven't said yes is because I literally just bought it recently, and I don't know if reading it now would be the appropriate thing to do, as I have so many other books on my TBR that I haven't even caused a dent in. So we're going to keep on looking. We're going to look at one more little section and see what we can find. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, I don't have any of those books here. Look what just popped up, guys. There's Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, and if you just saw my November TBR and wrap up video, I said that that is on my TBR, so that could be a contender as well. So let me go grab the books and then we're going to decide which book we're going to pick. So I found both books. They were quite easy to find. So The Dead Romantics is obviously by Ashley Poston. I have no idea what it's about. However, we also have Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, and this book, I know that she's standing alone outside a department store and a charming man asks her opinion for the decor. I'm guessing he works there, and she tells him the truth and he asks her if she wants to work there. Okay, so this is really short and really cozy, so if I was planning to read it, that would be good. And again, this is saying hello to Christmas. I don't know which one. Like, this one I'm leaning slightly more towards just because it is short, and after reading Powerless I need something like short, simple, cute that doesn't require me to think a lot. Plus this is already on my November TBR, so I think we're gonna go with Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey just because it's super easy to read. I think it's like, let me see, okay, it's like 250 pages long, so I think that's gonna be a nice little filler book before we go into our third book. So book number 2 will be Window Shopping, but obviously I'm not going to start this until I have finished Powerless. So I'm going to now go back to reading, finish off Powerless as we have about 100 pages left, and obviously as past Amy said, she spoke about a little bit about how she was feeling about the book, but we have 100 pages and a lot could go wrong in those 100 pages, so I will update you guys soon before we start this book. And yeah, let's get back to reading Powerless. So it is the next morning and I thought I'd give you guys an update before I head off to work. It's about 10 to 7 right now and I have my bright lights on in this room as this is the only place I can really film because my bedroom is a mess and it is dark everywhere I go, so I can't even use natural lighting. Like, this is what it's looking like outside right now, and I literally forget that because it's getting darker earlier, it means that it stays darker for longer in the morning time. So we have our bright lights on. This is what they look like when they're fully on, but I thought I would come and talk to you guys about Powerless. So I finished this last night, and let's just say my heart has been ripped out. I kind of knew the ending would be the ending based on the fact there's other books and from what other people had been saying, and obviously what I've been reading, it kind of led up to that, but it didn't hurt my heart any less. This book, absolutely loved it. I adored it. I decided to give it a 4.75. I know I was saying earlier that I had the 5-star feeling. I did, but it just went away. Like, no book can keep me on 5 stars. I just can't. But I did end up giving it 4.75 just because it was so close to 5 stars. The only reason wasn't, I knocked off a little bit of a point because I didn't have that feeling. But apart from that, everything that was going on in this book was pointing towards a 5 stars. I adored it. I was obsessed with it. I'm shocked that it took so long to even read this book, but I'm excited for the next book. Obviously, Powerful we have next is a little novella, and I actually found out that it's in one of the other characters' POV, so it doesn't really follow this book, like what happens afterwards, but I'm still going to read that, and I'm really excited to read Reckless. So that's my thoughts and feelings on Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And then obviously today we're going to start a new book, and that is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Again, this one is a billionaire boss and an employee. We'll probably be reading this in the next 2 days, but this is our next read. We're going to get to it. I want to stop talking. I'll give you guys an update in a bit, but let's start reading. I would come and give you guys an update, as I haven't given you guys an update since I started window shopping. And obviously this book is very interesting to say the least. These characters, I can't even remember the female main character's name. I know the male main character's name, and his name is Aiden. But the female main character, her name is Stella, and obviously she gets a job at this shop to do like the window display, because when she first walks past it, there's a window display, and like she criticizes it, and one of the bosses basically hires her. And obviously there's a little bit of an immediate attraction between the two main characters, Aiden and Stella. And obviously Aiden is very like nerdy. Have you guys seen recently, like on TikTok, I think it's Heather actually from TikTok, she said like, I want a nerdy tall man. Aiden is the definition of that. He is so golden retriever. He has like his little not spandex, those little strap things that you can like attach to your trousers and it goes over. He wears like bow ties, but he's also like Clark Kent. He's very bulky and tall. So chef's kiss, but he's also a billionaire, which I'm obsessed with. And the chemistry between the two characters, because the book's quite short, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because it is quite quick in terms of romance, but there are like barriers, and I would say like it's half slow burn and half isn't. So there'll be like a scene and you feel like something's gonna happen and something doesn't, or something a little bit happens but not the full thing, like that. So I'm really enjoying that aspect. It is very spicy to say the least, but your girl's not mad about that. The girl's not mad about that. For a little small novella, I feel like the smart and everything is like perfect, and I'm getting the Christmas feels whilst reading. There's like her talking about all the Christmas decorations, how Tessa Bailey describes the atmosphere. It's reminding me of like walking down the streets of London with all the Christmas decor out and the displays, and I'm just obsessed with that. And this is also set in New York, which is one of my dream places to go and visit. So this is definitely getting me in my feels for Christmas, and the story is just so cute, easy to follow along. There's a little bit of a past when it comes to Stella, which you'll learn more of when you read the book, but I felt like it's really interesting. There's more character to her, and I can actually relate to her a little bit because she's talking about like people pleasing, and she has this friendship that's quite toxic, but because they've grown up together and stuff like that, she feels like she has to give into that and do like all the bad things, and it did end up leading her into trouble in the past, and her trying to manage that. But just in general, like in terms of people pleasing and stuff like that, I could really relate to that. So I'm really enjoying it. It's very cozy. I was going into this book as well not expecting much, like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This is just giving the winter Christmassy vibes, which is what you need. So I would definitely recommend reading it if you want the Christmassy vibes and get into the mood. I feel like this is the perfect time to start reading it as we're getting into the Christmas feels. So it's just giving me some like imagery to go with and making me imagine Christmas. So right now it's on my Kindle, I've marked it out, but I am on, let me see if I can find it. I am on chapter 12, page 159. I don't know if that actually is the case in this book, but let me see if I can find it. Okay, so I'm a bit further in the book. The book says I'm 161, so like 2 pages extra. But I'm more than halfway through the book now. But I thought I'd give you an update. There's not really much to say as it's quite a short book. Not much to it, but it's definitely cozy, giving Christmas vibes. So that is my update for now. I will give you guys my final update on Wednesday when we pick our last read. So yeah, that is it for now. I'm going to head to bed. So I'll see you guys in a few days. So guys, I am now finished window shopping by Tessa Bailey, and I thought I'd come and give you guys a little review of how I felt about the book and my rating. So obviously I've only given you guys kind of one update whilst reading this book, as there was not much to update you guys on and I just didn't want to waffle. So I obviously finished the book. It features Stella and Aiden. Stella has actually just come out of prison and she's looking for a fresh start, and she bumps into Aiden, who is the store owner of Vivient, and he basically asks her about the display. I really did love the atmosphere, and I did really like Aiden and Stella as well and their relationship. I wasn't like fully invested in it, but I don't really care about that. Like for me, I was reading this for the vibes, for the Christmas vibes, and it gave me that. Also, this is very, very, very spicy. I didn't realise how spicy it was until I read it, and I think at chapter 6 was like the first spice scene, and that was about halfway through. So I wouldn't say it's slow burn because there is spice and happens quite quickly, but at the same time it's not like the first page, if that makes sense. It's like halfway through the book that you get the spice, but when it kicks in and it is spicy to say the least. If you want something that's smarty, Christmassy, that reminds you a bit like Magic Mike, all the like Hallmark Christmas movies but with spice and stuff like that, recommend it. So good. So I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it. There are times I was feeling very cringed out. This definitely has insta love, so there's like some certain things that are said that's very cringy. So like there's a scene where there's the Christmas party and one of them's talking about teaching one of the oldest like owners to renegade, and I was like, that's a bit cringy. And some of the words and phrasing, I was like, oh, that's a bit cringy, but nevertheless I enjoyed the vibe of it, and I feel like this is the perfect book to read if you want to get into the Christmassy feeling and you like spice as well. And I'm excited now to get more into the Christmas mood. Like I was already in a Christmas mood, but like reading this is making me like more excited for like going out, doing Christmas shopping, seeing the Christmas lights and stuff like that. So was good. I feel like it was an okay book, but like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, I gave that a 3 stars, and that was like the similar feel for this, but this is more like winter, Christmassy time. So yeah, I would say that's that equivalent, but more spice, definitely more spice than Pumpkin Spice Cafe, for example. Decided to give it 3 stars. I feel like that was the perfect rating to give it. I don't think it deserved more than that, but I don't think it deserved less than that. If you're someone that doesn't like spice, then you might not want to read this, even though the spice doesn't come until later on. But when it does happen, there's a lot that happens in the book with the spice. And yeah, that's really my update and my review of Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Now we're gonna pick out our third and final read. You know, start screen recording, and we're gonna click onto Pinterest. So obviously it will refresh. So first, to start off, we've already gotten like books, so that is a lot of books. We have one book by itself, which is called Hearts of the Shadow King. Never heard of that before. I wonder what type of book it is. Doesn't even tell you, but that is a really cute book. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, there's Something About Mary. We don't have that book, so we're not reading that. So we're going to keep scrolling. Okay, we have this little stack here. Let's see what it says. There's When the Moon Hatched. There's Heartless Hunter, which is the Crimson Moth, which I do have. And then there's also The Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, which I also have, that I haven't read. So those can be a contender. I do have both of them obviously on my physical TBR. And we're going to scroll down, see if we can find something that has more like a specific book in it, if that makes sense. Okay, I don't have any of those books. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Now, look what we've just found. I've just seen a Kennedy Ryan book, which is This Could Be Us, and that is actually already on my November TBR. So that could be a massive contender. We're going to quickly grab all the books, we're going to talk about them, and then I'm going to make my decision on what book I think I'm going to read. So here we are, we've got 3 books. Right, first up we have This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This is based on Soledad, who is the friend or best friend of Yasmin, who is the main character in the first book. And this book I know is based on like self-healing, self-love. And if I wanted to keep on to the theme of fantasy reads, as obviously I just read Powerless, we obviously have first up Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. All I know is 2 rivals. I feel like it's set in like wartime. Could be totally wrong, but I know this is a fantasy. They have like letters, and I think the 2 people are like rivals, but there's these mysterious letters. It's either some mysterious letters or these 2 are writing letters to each other, and there's some kind of mystery and fantasy and war. I don't know if this is like a fae fantasy, or is it more like a Shatter Me fantasy, or if it's more like a dystopian. Is it like, I don't know, a bit historic fantasy, I don't know. And then next we have The Crimson Moth, which is actually Heartless Hunter. And this one, all I know is there's a hunter, and then there's this woman, and she can actually turn into a moth, and she's getting hunted by this guy, the hunter, but he doesn't know that she is the moth that's going around like saving people or something like that. I don't know. That sounds really good. If I was going to pick between the 2 fantasies, I think right now I would pick The Crimson Moth. However, because we've already read like a full-on fantasy, do I want to continue down that route, or do I want to go into romance but a little bit more, because obviously Window Shopping was a bit of a smaller romance, whereas this is a bit of a deeper like more emotional journey. What do I prefer? I'm slowly leaning towards this, just because I was saying before I wanted to read a black romance, and you know, we have plenty of time to do fantasy. I think I was going to do another reading only fantasy books for a week, so these 2 could be the contenders in that video. So this is our 3rd book. Super excited to begin it. So I'm going to stop rambling now, and we're going to start reading This Could Be Us. See you guys in a bit. a while since I gave you guys an update, but today is actually Saturday and I only actually started this book today because since my last update where I said I was starting this book, I didn't actually read anything. I think I maybe read one chapter of the book, and today I finally had time to sit and actually properly read. But I thought I'd give you guys an update as I've reached the first 100 pages of the book, and I apologise if it's a bit fuzzy, I don't know if it is. It is currently 2:30 but it's already so gloomy everywhere I go. But in terms of this book, obviously this book focuses on Soledad, who's actually one of the best friends of Yasmin, who is the main character in the first book, and this is following her story. She is married and she has 3 daughters, and she's actually married to a white man. I didn't even clock that until they were describing stuff. So she's a black woman married to a white man, and there is betrayal to say the least. Let's just say I just hate this husband of hers so far, and we are only reaching the surface of what's happening and what has been happening on the outlines, and Soledad is finding out more and more about her husband and everything that's going on, and I just feel devastated for her right now. And there's a man that's entered her life, and he is actually someone that works with her husband, and something has happened and he's trying to help her, but she shouldn't want to like accept that help from him just because her husband does not like him whatsoever. But at the end of the day, who actually gives a crap about what the husband thinks? I don't. Even before everything that has happened, when we had like scenes with him, I was like, I don't really like him from the first book. So this book really gives you more of in depth about Soledad and everything that is happening, and I'm absolutely thoroughly enjoying this currently. Obviously we're only 100 pages in and it's got about 386 pages, but I do not want to put this book down. It is so good. Like, I've even tabbed one little section, but I had to tab it. It was so good. Like, I want to read it to you guys. Like, this quote right here. This is why I love Kennedy Ryan's books. Right. All loves aren't created equal. Some spring from the earth and wrap around and thrive through our souls like vines. Some are plants that start with tiny seeds in your heart and blossom over time, nurtured by years and commitment. How beautiful. Like, this is why I love her writing. Her writing is so beautiful, so raw, and even the emotions that Soledad is feeling, like I can literally imagine those, and like how she hurts, it makes me hurt, and I'm just obsessed with this. Even the main character, the male main character, Judah, like I'm obsessed with him, and he is married, well he used to be married, and he's got 2 sons who are both autistic. And seeing as well like how Kennedy Ryan is able to write about something like that from her own personal experience with her own children and stuff like that, it just shows the level of research and intellect and dedication it takes for her to write stories that are based on proper information, rather than making stuff that someone's just like added this in for the plot to make it a little bit stronger, to make the characters more complex, but doesn't actually know anything surrounding any of these things that are so important, like mental health or disabilities and stuff like that. And Kennedy Ryan does it so well. Like the first book, Before I Let Go, the focus on mental health, both black women and black males, I adored that. And also with this, the same way, about autism and again mental health and self-healing. We have not even scratched the surface yet of seeing the self-healing of Soledad, and I just want that so much for her. I've only been on 100 pages of this book, and in the first book we did have glimpses obviously of Soledad in the friendship of Yasmin. However, this is the first point that we get to actually see her and how she's thinking, and I'm already connected to her despite only reading 100 pages of this book. Like, I can really connect to her, not as someone that has experienced the stuff that she has, but as a woman and as a black woman, a person of colour. I'm just obsessed with this book so far. As you guys can guess, I'm only 100 pages in, and the way I feel about this book already is just like, I don't even know how to really put it into words. But that is my update for now. My goal right now is to like just sit and read and continue reading, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this book and I can't wait to continue. So let's continue reading. morning guys, so I thought I would give you guys a little final mini update before I give you guys a final review. So we are on chapter 36, page 301, so we have about 84 pages, I believe. 84, 83, I don't know, within that region. And this book, as I've said before, I'm obsessed with it, and it's starting to get a little bit spicier now. We're getting a little bit more interaction between Judah and Soledad, but a little bit more intimately. They've had loads of interactions with each other, and they're trying to fight this tension between each other, and they can't. And I'm obsessed with both of them. The tension is scorching, and the spicy, like, Kennedy Ryan knows how to write realistically raw, beautiful moments and descriptions and stories, but she also knows on the flip side how to do the most filthiest, dirtiest, smuttiest scenes, and those two together, that perfect balance, is what I'm looking for. I think I can relate a lot more to this book compared to the first book, but I absolutely love the first book still, and this one just, like, it gets better and better basically. And I'm just even more excited now for the last book, which is going to be Henwick's book, which is a character in this book, and I just can't wait to see that and to see her get the love that she gets. And that's what I love about Kennedy Ryan and black authors, is they really highlight and show black love, and that black women can have love, because I think in the society that we live in is very much like black women are frowned upon, they're treated so disrespectfully, but there are people out there that do appreciate black women, and that there's stories like this that highlight that and to show it. As a black woman and a person of colour, you can really relate to that, and you can use it as your source of motivation, a bit like how Soledad uses All About Love by Bell Hooks to help herself reinvent and learn her self-healing journey. As part of that, like giving herself advice is very important, and I love that aspect of the book. It's constantly teaching you new things about yourself, but also things that you might want to take on in the next future, like in the different experiences that you might have along the way. And yeah, I'm obsessed with it. You guys can probably guess what my rating might be. This is about self-healing, self-love, and also friendship. Friendship is such a huge thing in the storyline as well, and black friendship and just girlhood in general, and I just love that so much. So that is my little update for now. I'm gonna head to work, but I will give you guys my final review after I finish it, hopefully by the end of today. So I will see you guys in a bit. Guys, I am back and I have finished This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, and I know usually I wait until the next day to give you guys the review, but I thought I would come along and just do it now. And I'm sorry if the lighting is very rogue. I am in my live room and I've just taken my lamp from my bedroom, but I definitely do need to get a lamp in here for better lighting. But I thought I would come along. I've just finished This Could Be Us literally about 5 minutes ago, and I've collected my thoughts and feelings, and it was time now to speak to you guys. So this book, guys, let's just say this book was beautiful. I think I've said it many times throughout reading this book, but this book is beautiful. Kennedy Ryan has done it again. I thought I could not possibly love Before I Let Go more than I did, and this book topped it. I'm not gonna lie. I just felt a lot more connected to the character. I think I was a lot more emotional with the first book, but this book just hit in so many different places. Like, I had full body chills at some of the quotes and the way Kennedy Ryan writes, but it's like that the plane of her heart stretched vast enough to love two men so completely, love her children so purely, love her mother and her friends and the world around her with such quiet fervour, because she first loved herself. Just because you get heartbroken doesn't mean your heart's gonna break. If you take care of yourself and you nurture yourself and you're there for yourself, that no matter what happens, you're able to carry on. I feel like if you don't have a good relationship even with yourself, how do you expect yourself to have good relationships with other people? And it's more likely to break your heart when these relationships don't go the way you want it to. And this is why I like and love her writing style, because she just writes these raw, beautiful stories that anyone could relate to, and I just love this book. You can probably guess how I loved it. In terms of rating, I'm so stuck because I haven't given a book a 5 stars for 3 months. No book has made me feel the way it has to give me a 5 stars, and I just have to have that 5-star feeling. It might tick all my boxes, but it has to have the 5-star feeling or give me the 5-star feeling. This book, I did have the 5-star feeling, but not totally. So if I was going to base it off that, I would give it a 4.75. However, I think I need to kickstart this 5-star feeling thing, because as a whole, the book, the moments, the little quotes and the little talks that we get between the two characters, but also the friendships and also her relationship with her daughters and her sisters, just black love in general, and I'm just obsessed with that and I love it. So I decided to give it a 5-star purely because of that. As a whole, this book has just been amazing, and why give it a 4.75 when it's basically a 5-star. We finally got there. Book was so beautiful, so raw, and yeah, I love Kennedy Ryan. I can't wait to read more of her books. I can't wait for the next book to come out. I also have the Hoop series, which I'm really excited to start even more so now that I've read this, and yeah, absolutely obsessed. Kennedy Ryan, you are a godsend. Thank you so much for writing books that give black women hope that they can find love, and that we can have great black female friendships, family relationships, and that we take care of others but also we get taken care of at the same time. So this is for my black women everywhere. I absolutely adored this book, and this one is for you because there's not many stories that we have that books give, and this is definitely a book that you guys need to read. So absolutely adored it, 5 stars, and yeah, that is it. That is the end of today's video. We have read 3 books that Pinterest has picked for me, even though some of them have been a bit biased picks, but despite that, we have made it along the way, and I'm so happy about all the books I read in today's video. I feel like it's been a very successful read. We had an amazing fantasy read, Powerless, adored that, and then obviously we had Window Shopping, a little cozy Christmas novella. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like and a subscribe. That is it for tonight, guys. I hope you guys are okay. Stay blessed, everyone, and as I always say, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, my loves.